All right, what's up, guys? Rico here, CEO of SourceFind Asia, co-host of Made in China podcast, host of the SourceFind Asia YouTube channel, and I'm hanging out with Noel Naguiat,
That's it. Perfect.
the CEO and co-founder of The Refined. I'm gonna leave it up to him to define what
Define the
is.
refine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the refine is a lifestyle, gentleman's lifestyle experience
Okay.
is probably the best way. But if you have to break it down, what it really is, it's basically a community of gentlemen that has a networking area, a full service bar. You can get your haircut here. There's a spa. So really, it's a place to kind of recharge and kind of relax or have meetings. It's just a one-stop shop for gentlemen.
All right. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how Noel came up with the concept, why he came from Toronto to Manila, and why I'm also going to be a member of this gentleman's club pretty soon. Let's start at the beginning, man. So you're from Toronto.
Yeah.
We're Toronto boys here.
I'm a Toronto boy. Yeah.
Yeah. You were doing marketing.
I was
before,
actually
right?
doing advertising. So I was in the creative department in
Yeah.
advertising I retired at 20 years, which was about 2 years ago. And from there, I was an art director, kind of climbed up the ladder of the creative department. I've done stints as a creative director. But all in all, it was basically advertising I was focused on. In between that, like actually my 10th year, I decided to challenge myself. There's something about this entrepreneurial bug was always, like gnawing at me.
Yeah.
Especially with my families, a lot of them are entrepreneurs. So I opened up the first ever men's only grooming salon in Toronto.
Okay.
And it was called Mankind. So we opened that up. I partnered up with this guy Jason and did a great job. And then it did really well. So we opened up a second location. And after the second location, I went back into advertising. I don't know what it was. I think it was just like a little bit of a change. I needed a change. I loved what I was doing, but there was something about advertising. I wasn't finished yet. I wanted to become a creative director. Mm-hmm. That was like the bucket list. I actually wanted to own an agency too. So I said, okay, I got to get back to this.
You were trying to be a modern day Don Draper?
I was, yeah. And funny enough, with Don Draper, I didn't watch that until way after it was out already. Because I was like, I do this for a living, so why do I want to watch it? But yeah, it was basically the modern day Don Draper.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I did. It kind of started that way.
Cool. So then, what was the first time you came to the Philippines?
Well, I've always been coming back to the Philippines since I was a kid, starting like when I was 12 years old. And after 19 years old, I start coming here regularly, like every year. But I never had any thought of moving here. It was just really to party and, which a lot of people love to do.
Yeah.
But back then it was actually really different. There was really no BGC, this modern city. It was really just like really small little pockets of party areas. And there was obviously the beaches, the Boracay and everything. So I always took about a month and a half to party and then go back to Toronto. It was kind of like my recharge.
Yeah.
But that was it. So that's what I knew of the Philippines.
So when was the trip when you decided, hey, you know what, like there's some business opportunities here? And
that one happened 3 years ago, and I was playing golf in Toronto with my brother-in-law's brother, and he started pitching me the idea. At first he was asking me questions about Mankind, and he says, what was your involvement? What did you do with it? Are you still involved? And I kind of realized like, hey, this is not really a golf game. What's going on? So then I asked him, like, why are you asking me so much questions about Mankind?
Yeah.
And he says, because there's something big happening in the Philippines, especially in the barber industry. You got to bring Mankind down. I think you'll do really well. So I think a couple months later, I actually flew out to the Philippines, did an ocular. I was pleasantly surprised how much opportunity there was in the Philippines. And I think because I've always came here to party, that I really wasn't watching for that.
Yeah.
But it was happening, and I just didn't see it. And that trip 3 years ago, I realized, holy geez, there is a lot of stuff happening here. And then I went to the potential investors that wanted me to bring that concept, and I actually turned them down because I said that the city of the Philippines, or Manila, sorry, is already overly saturated with barbershops. I don't want to open up the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like that was a smart thing to do, especially I just finished reading Blue Ocean Strategies. So I'm like, that's not a blue ocean. I'm literally opening up in a red ocean.
Yeah.
But I said, but I have another concept that I've always wanted to do when I had Mankind, which was the Refine. So which is the next level, the next, I call it the Refine because it's the refined version of Mankind. It's the next level thing. So it's things that I observed when I was at Mankind, what was needed, what wasn't working, what was working, and I kind of modified it, and that's what you see here as the Refine.
Yeah, I feel like for me, this is like if you were to define me as a place, this would be it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't smoke like cigars and shisha in BGC, but
you could and you can't.
Yeah,
You
there's ways
can,
around
you
it.
can't, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like we've talked about this. It's Asia is in general
Yeah,
economically it's doing so well,
yeah,
but Philippines, because of the English speaking language is spoken here regularly, the modern city of BGC, and there's a lot more that's opening. The opportunities for expats and foreigners are really increasing.
yeah.
And I always say the secret's out. Like we always have this joke, like don't tell anybody because it's a secret. Because I used to get people from Toronto kind of like being kind of like negative and saying, why are you going to the Philippines when you can make more ROI in Toronto? And I kind of just shook my hand and said, you have no idea what's happening in Asia. It's crazy. That movie Crazy Rich Asian, that's real. Like that's not even fiction. That's like what we see every day.
Yeah.
And that's the game here.
Yeah, and I mean, I had the same thing with when I was leaving Toronto. It was like people were like, "Why would you go to Guangzhou? What is Guangzhou?" Like, I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Guangzhou is like 5 times the size of Toronto. Like, it's rapidly expanding. Like, it's so many opportunities.
Yeah. I love Toronto, and definitely in the bucket list that we do want to be able to open up one or both concepts. That we're coming up with in Toronto. Would love to, and that's definitely in the plans. Because again, it is my home. I was raised there 44 years. My kids are still there, and my friends and family. So, but there's something about Asia. I want to be able to go back and forth. The energy here is undescribable.
So speaking of future plans, I think you mentioned wanting to open like a female version.
Yeah, the female version is already in the works right now. So that's going to be opening up in June. Tentatively June soft opening. Looking at locations, it's all basically been figured out. It's just really executing it, and I'm pretty confident because I got to open this. I did this in maybe 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself 3 months for the women's one, so I'm confident. But the buzz on that one is unmeasurable right now. It's
because a lot of women hang out here.
Oh yeah, and every single woman that hang out here, or they did the tour because they were there with their boyfriend or their husband, checking out. They all every single one of them has asked, why don't you open one for women?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I actually took that as a joke. I'm like, no, you guys have salons.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Well.
And then really, truly realizing, it's like, oh my God, there is this opportunity. So in October, I kind of played around with the financials and did a forecast, and I was just kind of blown away. And I actually had to talk to one of my partners that owns the Mandala and says, is this numbers right? He goes, yeah. I said, this is crazy. Like, this is huge.
So I guess because we're doing a shorter video, we can dig deeper in the podcast. What would be the main differences between the female version of this and the male version?
Really, honestly, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's
is there
community.
Is there going to be a PS4 there? Like
there is going to be a PS4.
Yeah?
Like, exactly. There is going to be a PS4. We're going to have the tattoos.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, some of the services are modified for women. We're doing blowouts there. We're doing.
And you're not going to have suits, men's suits.
No, there is.
Front.
There's going to be female.
Women's suits.
So we're partnering up with Masanteng Sasateria, who does our suits.
Yeah.
The wife does women parasuits.
Oh, okay, sure.
So we're bringing that in. No, that's why there's really no difference.
Well, it's going to be the female version.
It's the female version.
Yeah.
It's the sister
of
the Refine, right? But I mean, the design is going to be similar but flipped on its head kind of thing. So here it's all black. There it's going to be more cream and rose gold. But still the same energy. You know, it's kind of like that saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it kind of thing. And it's definitely not broken here. The network and the community here is, again, I'm still every day something like takes me back of like, oh man, that's that happening.
Yeah.
Like one of our members came up to me yesterday and says, Noel, we want to propose this idea with you. You know, what is it? Because we want to create a mastermind group. I said, oh my God, yeah, from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I was talking to them about that yesterday. I was giving them advice because I've been doing masterminds since 2014. So I was like, yeah.
So this is where we differentiate. And again, men and women, the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all here to support each other and elevate each other to the next level of our career, our business, our life, our legacy, whatever you want to call it. But we're here for support. Like I read a quote today that competition is dead, it's collaboration is in.
Yeah.
And I've always believed in that. Like, you know, when there's barbershops checking us out saying, oh, we want to see what the refine's about, I kind of scratched my head because I said, there's over 100 million people in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I guarantee I'm not going to be able to service 1 million of them, right? So there's a lot to go around and everybody wants different things. If that's the case, then why don't they just have one hotel called Shangri-La and that's it and no one else compete? Everybody wants something different, right? So it's all about collaboration.
So just to give people an idea for the uninitiated, like what kind of members do you have here?
We have members just the whole gamut from, some of them are young, some of them are like mid-20s. There's not really too young. It's mid-20s and up. And a lot of them, the common denominator is that they either have their own business.
Yeah.
They're a CEO, they're a founder, or they're pretty high up in their company. And one thing they all love is the experience. They pay for the experience, and that's what they want. You know what I mean? That's the differentiator of why they choose to come to us instead of another place, is because they love the experience that they get here, the way they're treated here, the way we treat everyone. It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched the show Cheers, where everyone knows your name.
Yep.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
That was really, everyone calls each other by the first name. My staff calls me by the first name. When a member comes in, they know their name by the first name. Hey, how's it going? So it really is very comfortable being here.
That's also one of the things that I liked about this place is that it does have that family vibe to it. Like I could tell from the first time I came here, I was hanging out with Mark, and he knows everybody, but Mark knows everybody.
Yeah.
But like, it was just felt.
And Mark and those guys probably just joined maybe 2 weeks prior to, or maybe even less when you came here.
Really?
But that's how fast
Wow.
everyone's connected.
I would have thought that he's been coming here for like 6 months.
They're pretty new as a member. But then again, we welcome, everyone's welcome. Like one of the strangest questions I got from, I think a journalist asked, how do I join? I said, you just sign up. He goes, wait, do I have to like get referred, or do I have to write an essay or whatever? I'm like, you can write an essay. I'm not going to read it, but if you want to join, if you feel like there's value in your life for this, then join it. We don't try to pick and choose who's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Everyone adds value.
And I guess if you get to a stage where it's too packed, you just open another location.
Well, no, we also have a rule that we're only going to have 225 members here, and then that's it, and everybody else will be on a waiting list.
Okay.
That's 225. Obviously sounds like a made up number, and it kind of is, but it's also a number that I feel that's going to be able for us to service our client, our members, without any obstacles. Like if you want to come in for a haircut, you just come in for a haircut. And there's not like, well, we're fully booked till next week.
Make a reservation and all that.
Yeah, no, it's like if you're paying for that membership, you should be able to use it all the time. That's why our membership has unlimited haircuts. So you can come in anytime to use it and get your haircut and make sure you're nice and clean. You got a free spa service. So again, we try to make it as easy as possible for our members to utilize all the attributes.
All right, cool. Is there any message you want to tell people, for people that are thinking about coming to the Philippines, things like that? Like,
I mean, check this out for sure. I mean, I think, there's no guarantees in this role, but I can probably, guarantee that when you come here, you'll love the experience. Yeah. I mean, we're still 5 stars after a year, and they love it, and there's no complaint. Actually, we, on Google, was it Google? We hit 4.9. Yeah. I called up the guy and I invited him back for free service, and I asked him, and I sat down with him, why'd you give us 4.9? We found out why is because he came here first time, loved it. about 4 months later he came, but that's when we switched over to membership and our prices changed. It was just the introductory prices were gone. No one told him about that, so he was kind of like surprised at the cashier. But at the end he joined. So he loved it, and he even says the fact that you actually called me, even though you got 4.9, that shows, and that's very serious to us. It's like it comes to like our members, and customer service is key for us.
Nice.
Good, man.
All right, man. Thanks for taking the time. We're gonna do a little podcast
Awesome.
a little bit later. All right, guys. If you like this kind of content, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the comment section, and I will see you guys next week with a new video. Cheers.